Hi, this is Loretta Calvert, Legally Quirky. I promised everybody a video about how I confronted my father and managed to heal that relationship for Father's Day. Father's Day is coming up. It's June 13th. And I wanted to give some hope, some inspiration to people that maybe don't have the best relationship with their fathers. Now, I don't recommend that you run out and do what I did. Everybody's family is different. Everybody's family dynamics and the way they communicate is different. I'm just going to share with you what I did. Hopefully, if you are having difficulty talking to your parents, you can work with a therapist and have a support group to someone that knows what your situation is like to help you navigate how to repair those relationships. So this is what happened with me and my dad. I did an exercise where you write a letter to your abusers. And the point of the exercise is not necessarily to send the letter, but to help you process what happened to you. I, however, wanted answers from my parents about why they did the things they did, and did they realize how bad it affected me? Because I was doing this as an adult. I was still very damaged in my 20s, and I needed answers for what happened and why. I was also tired of being quiet about the abuse and denying that it had happened. It's very typical in abusive homes that you are told not to talk about the abuse to anyone outside of the family. I was definitely told that numerous times growing up. And, I followed that rule. I tried to be the best daughter that I could be. I wanted to make my parents proud of me, and I just stuffed down my feelings for a really long time. So after writing both of those letters, because I wanted answers, I sent the letters out to them. Now, I got two very different responses. My mother said, "That never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. Why are you making this stuff up? I never did that. I never said that. I don't know why you have it in for me. Why are you doing this to me?" So again, just deny the abuse like it never happened. My father's reaction was completely different. He contacted me. He acknowledged that what he did was wrong. He apologized for what he did. And he said, "I had no idea when I was suffering through my own stuff that this would have an impact on what you saw and how you perceive the world. And I definitely didn't think that you would remember it and carry it into your adult life." And so we had some really good conversations, that day and the days after that, because instead of denying the abuse, both of us confronting it, coming clean about it, saying, "Yep, that really happened," we were able to heal and see each other both as adults. I finally saw him as a man that was trying to do the best that he could, someone that worked so hard, 10 and 12-hour days trying to provide for a family. And when he came home, all he wanted to do was relax. And that usually did not happen. My mother was very hard to please. And, I think if she's not a narcissist, she definitely has very high narcissistic traits. One of the things that came out of me talking to my father was finding out that she had made up stories in order to triangulate us. One of the stories that she told me as a child, mind you, was that my father had pushed her down a flight of stairs when she was pregnant with me. And my father said, "That didn't happen. I can tell you what I think she's talking about. I think she's talking about a time when she was pregnant with you and we were in the apartment and she was really upset and she tried to push me and I didn't go anywhere because he was solid muscle. She, however, fell back on her butt and she was angry and upset and embarrassed. And so in her twisted mind, when she is relaying the story to other people, he pushed her while she was pregnant. And she ended up running down the stairs to talk to her mother-in-law and tell her what a horrible person my dad was. Other things that, I was told that, weren't true. I was told by my mother that my father didn't want me. And my father was like, well, I wasn't there when you were born because I was at work. But, when I found out that, you were born, I got down to the hospital. I held you. I was super excited. I didn't care if, you were a boy or a girl. I just saw you and I fell in love with you. I was always told by my mother that my father wanted a boy to carry on the Italian last name. So, not true. Now, why would someone make up something like that? Like I said, narcissists typically will try to triangulate, and it's crazy that, a mother would turn to her child and make up these stories in order to manipulate the child into A, fearing her father more, and B, getting pity and sympathy from the child and trying to bond with the child that way and making herself out to be the victim. And for years, I thought my father was the bad guy. He was the one that, would explode and have, these moments of anger. But the reason why was he was trying so hard to please my mother. He was, in this codependent bad cycle. And he would try to please her, try to please her, try to please her. And the more he stuffed down his feelings, the harder it would get. And eventually his anger would just explode. And God help you if you were in his path when that happened. Whether you were the guy that cut him off on the road or you were the little child that was playing with a toy when he had a headache. And so, again, had I not sent the letter, I never would have known the truth about these things that never happened. My mother just made them up. So having a mature and adult relationship with my dad and finally being able to talk to him and be validated by him was amazing. It was probably the greatest gift that he could give me. Now, I know that not all of you have good relationships with your parents. I've mentioned my mom. You might have a toxic relationship, with either your mom or your father. If that's the case, I get it. There are sometimes parents that you just have to cut them out completely. When my father passed away, my mother and I started talking again. As an attorney, I was helping her with the estate, and I will never forget how she was unhappy with how I was handling things because I was following his wishes and not doing what she wanted. She was unhappy that she wasn't getting her money fast enough. She was angry because she wasn't able to go out and buy a Jaguar after my father died, and yet her friend was able to buy a Jaguar. And I just saw, and it was confirmed for me, what I had slowly been learning over the years. There is something going on with her, and she is toxic, and I need to stay away from that. I've tried over the years to engage and have minimal amount of contact. It hasn't worked. You might want to give a narcissist an inch, and they try to take the whole ruler from you and then hit you on the head with the ruler. So whatever your circumstances, I just wanted to share with you my experience working out my relationships with my parents. I hope that if your father is still alive, that you have a great holiday with your father. And really talk. Don't just talk about fishing or work or, the latest sports news or the weather. Talk to them about important things. You never know how long you have. And so I want to wish everybody a happy Father's Day. I want you to go out there and just make the best of every day that you have, whether it's Father's Day or Mother's Day or Flag Day is coming up. Have a great day and enjoy life. Enjoy what's in front of you.